Carlos, stand by. One of the students is going to introduce you.
All right, guys. All you guys ready? Perfect. Okay, first of all, some of you guys have been asking for the live stream in case you have I don't know, parents who want to watch something. If you go on Boilerlink, the stream is on there. So if you go on Boilerlink, just type in Poetry Slam, and on that event page, the stream is on there. And Facebook. So we're gonna get started now. We have an MC. His name is Carlos, and he's gonna show up right here very soon. Good luck. Carlos, are you here?
I'm here.
All right, you can go ahead and get started.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I can't see you yet, but hopefully you can see me. My name is Carlos Robeson. I am a professional spoken word artist. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm going to be your MC for the evening. I know this is weird that I'm not in the same room as y'all, but we're going to do everything that everybody feels some love tonight. I am going to get things started in just a second, but before we do that, I'm going to ask that y'all do me one huge favor, which for them, I started doing this when I was in college, and I remember that feeling of nervousness and all that kind of stuff. So if y'all would just give everybody a whole lot of energy. Is that cool? If that's cool, let's test it out right now. Give me like a 1 on a 1 to 5 scale. Just give me like a level 1 energy. Clap a little bit. It's like a nice golf clap. What if we went to a level 3? And what if we went to a level 5? Hey. That's amazing. That's what everybody needs. So we're going to start this open mic portion of the night. Michaela is our first up. Jack is on deck. And so we are going to start clapping now for Michaela. Let's give it a level 1 energy. Bring it up to level 3. At level 5.
Maybe. I may need assistance. I'm not doing too hot. Help. Okay, get it to go in the thing. Thank you. Cool. If I can make it work. There we go. Is that good? That right? Yes. Okay, thank you for your patience. Much appreciated. Hi, I'm Michaela. I go by Mia, and I'm very excited to be opening for you guys. One of the most popular assignments this past year has been a get-to-know-you assignment titled What I Learned During Quarantine. In every class, we went around the room and people talked about how they learned to keep up with friendships when you don't see them every day, how to make banana bread. One kid even talked about how video games taught him how to love. That was actually a pretty normal response. But I'm not a normal kid. I never have been. I've been in and out of hospitals like I lived there. I've been doing online school since before it was cool, because once you get to a certain level of sick, they don't care about your grades, man. They just hope you don't walk through that door, because it is distracting for the other students when you're so sore you can barely walk, or when you cough until you can't breathe. Now, though, I mean, we're all in the same boat. I can't breathe, you can't breathe, George Floyd can't breathe. I could stand there and tell them all about how I learned to deal with online school, not seeing my friends, being stuck in my house all day. I could do that, because that all sucked. But I've grown up with that. No, what I learned was how to smell smoke. It's not something I thought I'd ever do. Take my final high school exam online, then turn on the TV to relax and see fire on the news, look out the window and see smoke. I live in downtown Minneapolis, and we are so proud to be L'Étoile du Nord, Star of the North. We look down to the south and shake our heads. How can anyone be so ignorant? But not us. We're a blue state. Look at us. We have a gay pride parade every year. We side with the Democrats every single time. We even tried to get Walter Mondale elected. We are just so blue. We are so accepting of all people, as long as you're white. We smell equality in the air. But this year, we learned to smell smoke. I caught my first whiff of smoke on May 25th. It came from the empty lungs of George Floyd. It's a good thing we're already wearing masks, because the air never cleared again. I watched the news, out the windows, the live protest feeds. With every day, the smoke grew thicker, and that week, I watched my city burn. I could see the smoke 10 miles away. Wait, no, 5 miles away, sorry. No, a block away. We were all sitting at home, wearing masks, trying to avoid a cough and a burning fever, watching the skyline cough up smoke in a burning city. Never been a normal kid. I can't breathe, you can't breathe, George Floyd can't breathe. But my city breathes, every breath fanning the flames that consumed my home, my restaurants, my parks, my streets, all covered in ash and tear gas, every breath fanning the flames that illuminate what goes on in the shadows, fanning the flames spreading across our country of freedom, of tolerance, of equality. I can't hear my teacher attempt to operate Zoom over the screams of peaceful protesters as a semi-truck barrels through them of 1,000 skateboards down Washington Avenue to help find 7 kids who were questioned by the cops yesterday and haven't been seen since. I learned which establishments were opening up in the face of a global crisis, not so I could get a coffee, but so I could get away from the tear gas. I watched my friend pick up a rubber bullet from her porch, shot at her last night for having the audacity to get a water from her cooler. I learned nothing from school during quarantine. I stopped caring about my grades, about graduation, about prom. I failed 2 out of my 3 AP tests, and I don't care anymore, because my city is taking a whole different style of test. I danced in my prom dress to the beat of rubber bullets hitting the ground. I sang a new school song as I graduated from ignorance. Want to hear it? It's made solely of the notes of the last words spoken by the victims of police violence. I didn't learn how to take classes online. I didn't learn how to love myself. I didn't learn how to use Skype to contact my friends. I learned the names of so many of the cops that killed so many of my people in my city. I learned the names of George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Eric Gardner, Philando Castile, Breonna Taylor, and so many more. I learned how to smell smoke.
Amazing job. I think I lost you for a second. There we are. Great. So that moment was a really good example of where you, the audience, fumble with the microphone, which is really, really hard because the microphone doesn't always fit in the microphone stand. So that could be really awkward and nervous for a performer, and they home and end up starting the poem without a lot of breath. Those are the moments where y'all can jump in and clap for her and cheer for her and down and comfortable in that space. That makes the whole night that much better. So we're going to jump into our next poet. Sammy is on deck. But right now we're going to start making some noise for Jack. If y'all will make some noise for Jack at a level 1, at a level 3, at a 5. Amazing job, Jack. We are going to keep this thing moving. Mario, you are on deck. The next person to the microphone is Sammy. Y'all start making some noise for Sammy. Keep it going, keep it going.
Thank you. I feel so loved. Hey. Okay, so hey guys, I'm Sammy. This one's kind of short and sweet and to the point. This is my first time ever performing a poetry slam, so I'm really excited. Yeah, so I'm super excited for the opportunity. So this is called Tell Me About Yourself. Tell me about yourself, they say. Well, I want to be a motivational speaker and my last name is Delay. I have decent grades and I try to be involved. However, there is something that I would love to get resolved. Do you really want me to tell you about myself? Okay. Well, I hate myself some days and I get anxious taking tests. I try so hard and I still don't always do my best. You see, I am broken. My mom is bipolar and my dad is not much of a financial supporter. I have days filled with sunshine, followed by days filled with rain. I am numbed by the pain and I shut off my emotions. However, I still have a problem getting attached too easily just to be let down. Some days I feel like I am the queen wearing the crown, while other days I am just the ugly stepsister. Like I will never find an adequate mister. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, like I will never truly find my place. You see, I think I'm happy, funny, hurt, and lost all at the same time. Tell me about yourself, they say, but the second I do, all they seem to do is run away. Thank you.
Incredible job from Sammy. We're going to keep this thing going. Jairus, you are on deck. But next up to the Mario, y'all start making some noise from.
This one? Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Hi everyone, can you hear me? It's also my first time performing at a poetry slam or really doing anything poetry related in public, so I'm very excited. Thanks to all of you for being here. I'm going to be performing a poem by Jorge Luis Borges. It was originally written in Spanish, but I'm going to read the translation, of course. Although if you have the chance, I'd highly encourage you to read it in Spanish if you can. Right, the poem is called Art of Poetry. To gaze at a river made of time and water, and remember time is another river. To know we stray like a river, and our faces vanish like water. To feel that waking is another dream, that dreams of not dreaming, and that the death we fear in our bones is the death that every night we call a dream. To see in every day and year a symbol of all the days of man and his years, and convert the insult of the years into a music, a sound, and a symbol. To see in death a dream, in the sunset a golden sadness, such as poetry, humble and immortal, poetry, returning like dawn and the sunset. Sometimes, at evening, there's a face that sees us from the deeps of a mirror. Art must be that sort of mirror, disclosing to each of us his face. They say Ulysses, wearied of wonders, wept with love on seeing Ithaca. Humble and green, art is that Ithaca. A green eternity, not wonders. Art is endless like a river flowing, passing, yet remaining, a mirror to the same inconstant Heraclitus, who is the same and yet another, like the river flowing. Thank you so much.
Amazing job from Mario. Joe is on deck, but we're going to keep this thing going with Jairus. Y'all give it up. Start making a little noise now. Keep it going. Jairus.
Cool. Let's see. It's a good level of volume. Okay. Did I accidentally turn this off? Okay, cool. I'm going to tell you how to perform a shotgun trepanation. Put a hole in your skull and let your brain crawl out. Medication goes in your skull. Is it enough? Let's find out. Trepidation. Where did the stairs go? Someone pull me out. Our house is burning down. Explanation. Take the book down, blow the dust off, read it out loud. One day the light will eat you. Nice to meet you. I'm so proud. Drowning in the blue light, flying like kites, but upside down. Through the light tube, bite an ice cube, don't look down. What kind of armor do you want to die in? Steel or ceramic? Perhaps the Titanic was made of plastic. You stretch rubber bands, they stop being elastic. You tell everyone that they're special. Gravitational potential, that's exactly how far they'll fall. You're only 15 though, don't shout. Just wait for the lights to go out.
Amazing from Jairus.
How y'all doing?
Make some noise for Joe.
Hey, y'all. I'm sorry. I'll figure it out at some point. Can y'all hear me good from here? This is my first time doing anything like this. I don't know. I go by Jaded, and this poem is called Dreamer. I'm dreaming up a dream, a sort of inception it seems that permeates my thoughts as the smoke fills my lungs, not the smoke from the green of the earth, but the smoke from the green of the envy I feel as I watch your sins wash away and I struggle to forget my own. Like what we did doesn't bother you now, just that we're grown. In my mind, it rattles and bangs inside of this calcium cage, screaming to be free of the bonds of guilt and the limit that is my own pain and the fears that forever keep me from the forgiveness I so desperately seek. And this dream, you see, it doesn't tell me what it means, no, that I figure out. And this dream, you see, it doesn't put me on a path, no, I find my own way out. And I keep chasing these dreams, I struggle to be free, and my mind goes blank as I search for the key that'll free me, these chains that clutch at my heart and clatter in my ears as I'm falling apart, that I taste on my tongue as I search for the words that'll end the search for my own self-worth, that shine in the mirror, that squeeze at my heart as I try so desperately to finish the fight, that reek in my nose so deep as it goes, and I want to be free, but it's the life I chose. But I follow this dream because this dream made a promise to me and every other victim of these chains that'll one day break them. So I chase this dream, however naive, though deep down I know I'll never be free. Thank you.
Hey, everybody, that is the mic portion. We're going to take for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back for our competition.
Hey, everyone, feel free to go grab some food in the back as well. Great job.
We're playing a Kahoot game if you guys want to join, and we do have prizes for the top 3 winners. Are we able to? All right. And as you can see, the code is up on the screen, so grab your phone and join if you want to.
Hello. Here we're gonna have a Kahoot for our intermission. My name's Grace.
I'm Patsy.
And we'll be reading the questions for you. So yeah, we'll be starting here in a few minutes if you wanna get the code and join on your phone. Excellent name.
We're supposed to talk about the Protect Purdue guidelines 4 times or whatever. So we've already done that once. Never mind.
All right, so for our first question, what does the term foot mean in poetry?
Wow. This is a great question, Patsy.
Thanks, Grace. So it is 2 or more syllables.
Oh, no, nobody got that answer right. Oh my goodness.
All right.
That's crazy. Okay, next question then. What is it called to have a fear of poetry? Do we have anybody afraid of poetry in here tonight?
I don't think so.
I would hope you wouldn't be afraid of poetry if you were in here, so.
Just metrophobia. Okay, I'm sorry.
So sorry about that. All right, Mia is in the top.
What action does the speaker compare to digging in the famous poem Digging by Seamus Hain?
Seamus?
Yeah, I think it was Seamus.
Writing.
Writing. Wow, that was a good turnout. Let's see who's in the lead.
Mia.
Isabella taking the lead. Wow. Who wrote the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas"?
Yeah.
Prizes.
Clement Moore.
Clement Moore. Okay. That's a good one. That's probably the only poem I know.
Ooh, Sydney taking the top spot.
Sydney also has the highest answer streak of 3. Wow.
How many lines are there in a sonnet, guys? English class, you can remember this.
Yeah, you can do it, guys. We believe in you.
Got this. Shakespeare. There we go.
Wow. Okay, 14. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Patsy?
Yeah. Grace. You disappoint me. Sydney still got it.
Sydney, wow, killing it. Shout out to the other ones, though. Sally sells she sells by the seashore is an example.
You're doing great.
Thank you. Alliteration. All right, 9 people got that right. That was pretty good. All right, let's see who's in the top. Sydney is still in the top, and then Isabella and Reed.
This poet won the Nobel Literature Prize. Hey, somebody actually knows.
Oh
that
man,
answer.
that was a hard
go.
one. All right, let's see how that shapes up. Oh, Nick
somebody's
coming in from
in.
nowhere. Wow, in 3rd place. Okay, according to William Blake, what was burning bright in the forest of the night?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to see.
Oh, tiger, that is the Old English spelling of tiger. So it was a bit of a trick question for that one.
All right, so which of the following poets is not considered a part of the Beat generation?
This is the last question for
the prize.
For the prize.
This is.
They can just T.S. Eliot. All right, let's see what the final results are. Top 3 people get a prize. Moss is in 3rd place. Sydney
is
in second. And the big winner here.
Drum roll, please.
Nick.
Hey,
oh my goodness. Wow. All right, I have books for you guys if you would like the top 3 to come over this way. Thanks for playing, guys.
I'm sorry, I was seeing the screen.
All right, here are the 3 book options.
No, I was saying, I'm sorry, I was seeing your screen. You're good to come up.
Yes, these are the 3 book options that you guys would like to choose. I don't know which one wants one more or whatever. That one?
I'll take this one.
All right, there you go.
This is why I should not be in charge of anything. No.
Hi, everyone. Just a really quick announcement. Some people are new here, so we just want to reiterate. With food stuff, we have a lot of food back there. Just make sure that you aren't eating like with your mask down for more than about 15 minutes. Things are going so well so far. We're going to start here on the competition really soon. I'm excited to see more of it.
All right, guys, we're gonna get started with the competition portion now. So if you guys want to get to your seats. All right, so now is the competition portion. And so I will be reintroducing Carlos, your MC again. So welcome, Carlos.
Hey there, everybody. This is the part where things get serious. I'm going to the first is Emma DePanis, an MFA candidate in poetry at Purdue, where she teaches creative poetry editor for Sycamore Review. Her poems have appeared recently in journals such as the National Poetry Review, the Minnesota Review, Quarterly West, and elsewhere. She is a winner of the 2018 Pablo Neruda Prize for Poetry, that's amazing, and is a co-editor of The Shore Poetry. Your second judge tonight is J. Peter Moore, who teaches and writes on U.S. literature and culture, particularly modern and contemporary poetry and poetics, aesthetic theory and African American literature. He also works in the overlapping fields of material culture and print history, establishing and directing Purdue University's first letterpress marker space, the Print Bay. Dr. Moore is also the director of creative scholarly projects in the Honors College, where he advises students on proposing and completing Lastly, your third judge, Beth Geyer, graduated in 2019 from St. Louis University, aka with a bachelor's degree in communication sciences and disorders and a minor in English. Her favorite poet is Mary Oliver, and her favorite author is Virginia Woolf. She is currently a grad student working towards a Those are tonight's judges, and we're going to get this thing started. Again, and we're going to start. First, Michaela, y'all make.
Hello again. In accordance with everyone else, I'm just gonna go with, this is my second time doing a poetry thing. My first one was 20 minutes ago. So, yeah, twice. All right, this is a poem called Height. To the boy who asked me why I wear heels if I'm already so tall. To the boy who requested I didn't wear heels because it made him uncomfortable. To the grown man who asked me how tall I was, just to follow it up by saying he doesn't mind tall girls, because they're all shorter than him when he bends them over anyway. Newsflash, standing next to a tall woman does not make your junk smaller, does not make you less than, it should not make you ashamed to stand next to an Amazon warrior such as myself. If you must know, I wear heels because I'm fly. No ifs, ands, buts, questions, comments, or concerns. I wear heels so I stand out like a 6-foot-tall goddess. I'm a warrior. My stilettos are knives, and I will continue to step on inconsiderate men, making a red carpet flow behind me. I'm so high up, I can't even see people who stoop to your level. I wear heels because it is useless to cater to the insecure. You think no one will see you? Learn to love yourself until your love spills over into the lives of people around you. You will be their sunshine. You will shine bright, and you will be noticed. Love yourself until you no longer feel that a woman in heels emasculates you. You too are a warrior, but do not let your body become the enemy. You are bigger than the Empire State Building. Stand tall and scrape the clouds. Being short means nothing. You can still reach the sky this way. I know this because the same people who told you that being small meant being inferior told me that tall girls aren't as feminine, don't walk as pretty, can't glide across the floor. Women, like children, should be seen, not looked up to. I've tried to make myself smaller, but you can't teach height. Height is gifted to the Amazon princesses, to those of us worthy of living above the average, to the warriors who have fought to be seen and to be heard. Boy, I'm big for a reason. I gotta have somewhere to put my voice. Because my voice is one size better fit all. Like, I waited too long to learn how to use it for you to tell me to hush. Like, I spent too long convincing my own shadow that I was someone worth following just to shrink out of my own spotlight. And just like the teenage girls working at the mall, I don't really care if this doesn't fit you. I'm just dying to get a break. I am a giant masterpiece, and my heels are my pedestal that you, my friend, can step off. Thank you.
Incredible job, Michaela. Incredible job. We're going to give our judges just a second to work on their scores. Noelle is on deck. And Isabella is up now. Y'all start making some noise for Isabella.
All right, can you hear me all right? All right. So this is my poem, Look at Me. Look at me, one of 50,000, one of a million, just part of the masses. Can you see me, or do you need glasses to look past the bridge of your nose at the rest of the watching world? Look at me, standing before you alone, yet you can't seem to pick between the words I'm saying and find that I am praying, God, save me, because I must be crazy for thinking that anyone could know this, would know this, that I'm screaming and I am crying, look at me, and tell me that you can't hear the pounding of my fists against your ears, knock, knock, knocking on the door. You locked me out, and I'm lost, and I'm alone. And I am so far from my home, and all I need is someone to look at me. And I'm not scared because I'm petrified, but I'll smile wide, even though if you look close, you'll see the lies in my eyes, and I don't know where I am, but there's a sea, and I'm a ship. And Columbus is trying to find India, but he ended up leading me to Indiana. And I am so far from the East Coast, and I don't know if I'll forget the waves and the tide and the easy breeze of the summer when all I wanted was someone to look at me. I'm here, and I'm scared. I don't know where to go, but I know that I will find a way because I will hold my head high. And you will never see me cry, especially not if you just look at me and tell me that I can't, I don't, I won't, couldn't, shouldn't, wouldn't, because I could use a laugh during these times when it's so cold, but it's 70 degrees outside and I don't know why. But I will try, because this won't stop me, that won't stop me. because I am strong. And you would know if you would just finally look at me. Thank you.
Amazing job, Isabella. Valerie is on deck. We're going to give these judges just a second to prepare their scores. And let's start making a little noise for Noelle. Come on, y'all. Let's get it started.
Hello, I go by Elle, and this is a poem I wrote called Old Friend. The day she walked back through that door is the day my heart died. I thought she was banished, but she'd only been relocated. She had no need to knock, because she always had a key. I stopped breathing on the day she walked back through that door. I stopped moving. She walked in and she placed the key deep into her pocket with a familiar grin. Head held high with pride, she knew the power that she held over me. She's more than aware. Her life's work is to ruin mine. She is the terror that I feel on dark nights when no one is home and I find myself alone. She grabs at my throat, squeezing until nothing is left. She claws at my arms, leaving scratch marks down the entire length. She's the worst sides of myself embodied. She ruins my life again and again and never once shows regret. She laughs in my face, and it's a hollow sound. She tells me it's not personal. She lives for this. It's nothing personal. She sets weights on my chest, weights on my shoulders, weights on my legs. She nails my feet to the floor, opens my mouth, and forces my tongue to scream. She takes my soul, makes it her puppet, and pulls the strings to watch me dance. She's my own personal devil, making my heart skip beats. She's my heart attack. She puts butterflies deep in my stomach and leaves them to rot there. They haunt me. Their ghosts rattle my insides and they're desperate for peace. Her eyes change constantly, but I mix the colors from her eyes like they're a set of my own personal paints. I turn her horror into something resembling sanity. She is my oldest friend, my oldest enemy. Her name is Anxiety, and she lives in my head.
That was amazing. Y'all give it up for Elle. Sammy is on deck. We're going to give the judges just a second to get their scores there. I'm constantly wishing that I could be there to make sure the microphone was the perfect height for every person. That be there next time. Next up to the microphone, y'all. Put it together for Valerie.
I'm just gonna hold it instead. And trigger warning for suicide. You are dead and everything is worse now. There, I did it. I said the thing. I don't care or whether or not you would have laughed, but I know you would have. We both believed in the sacredness of the funeral scene, and this is my way of honoring that. I would have stopped at a Jack in the Box and not lied about how I was really feeling, but the last time I saw one, it was a Starbucks. But bravo, I'm giving a eulogy. You got me to give you a eulogy. When we were young, we used to play political ideologists.
I know, not as fun as making Barbie and Teresa kiss, but we had our roles. I was always the Magneto to your Professor X, the Nietzschean, nihilistic, chaotic creature to your powerful, controlled, leap of faith optimism. In the comic books, they never mention that Professor X has panic attacks, that his faith in himself and others is an overwhelming scream into an absence of light. I always learned to accept cruelty. The forms it came in never stopped surprising me, but I always knew it was there under every thinly veiled horror that was a human being. That both a man taking orders and a man who learns to not take orders are cruel. I wanted kind people to be real. There will never be another kind person who was you. I won't say my life started with you. I want to, but that's childish and puts too much pressure on what we were. I was lonely, and then I wasn't. You weren't lonely, but you were still miserable. You had people you thought you were disappointing, but really they loved you. It's scary how much I didn't understand you. Despite our fundamental differences, we saw our similarities. You saw that surprise I had on my face every time someone failed, and I saw that you knew some people would never change. You would fight them regardless, especially when I wouldn't, but I know there were people you stopped forgiving. I know this. These were human contradictions that were easy to ignore. They were always there. We weren't so different, but there was always that inescapable chasm between us. We weren't black and white, just light gray and dark gray, but you never gave up when it counted. Until now, of course. We didn't have any kind-hearted goodbyes. There was no text, no missed phone call, no cliche where I or anyone else who loved you as much would be able to look you in the eyes and stay. I understand why. When I think about killing myself, I just think about the action itself rather than the consequences of that action. But what would those consequences even look like anyway? And why would they matter? You're dead. You can't see them. You don't know who will attend the funeral and who won't. Sorry I didn't make it, by the way. A month in the hospital, all that jazz. I wanted to visit your crying bridge, but then I realized I didn't even know if you had one. It's been so long since we talked about heaven, I'm not even sure if you wanted one. I almost stopped for flowers, but then I didn't know if you'd even like them. I couldn't remember what your favorite color was, and I still haven't sent a card to your parents telling them they were awful. I've had so many speeches where I tell your mother that she shouldn't have been a mother if she couldn't love her children as they were, rather than who she imagined them to be. I try to imagine her crying at their funeral, but I can't see it happening, even though I hope she did. I know she did. I can't look her in the eye and tell her I knew you would kill yourself at some point. She might have known too, but I'm not strong enough to ask. If anyone started and ended with you, it had to be your sister, right? You once said you could never save anyone. We were sitting across from each other at a square table. The light overhead was flickering. There were no napkins. You couldn't save her or your boyfriend or anyone else who was suffering. You were beating yourself bruised, and I wanted to say that people choose their own actions regardless of others. You can love them and try and save them, but ultimately you do not decide their actions. Instead, I told you about the year before. I was going through all the people I thought would miss me. You were the only one I was entirely convinced of. Gods, what the fuck do I do now?
All right. Marguerite is on deck. We are going to give these illustrious judges a moment. And up next to the microphone, y'all start making a little noise now for Sammy.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I'm really afraid that this is going to fall. Hi, my name is Marguerite, and this is my poem, Belvedere. If someone were to ask you for a description of your ideal space, you would not hesitate to answer. You would say, I want stained glass windows, kissed by majestic drapes, so that I can be awakened by golden triangles dancing on my face. I want to wade my bare feet in sapphire sunlight, and in the evening, I want my windows to produce horizontal ruby stripes. I want clear windows peppered among the stained glass so that I can view the world without any tinted bias. I want my windows tall so that my thoughts can soar like kites. I want a room with a dome roof that will reflect sound and light. I want nothing less than my dream, my platonic conception of a room. But alas, I know my ideas are separate from reality and truth. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, everybody. I think I may have gotten our order backwards, but we're going to get it right now. Thank you, Marguerite. We are going to bring up Sammy. Y'all start clapping for Sammy now.
Thanks, guys. All right, so this is a piece I wrote. It's called Paper. Sometimes I believe I am like paper. Sammy, you fold so easily under pressure. You're not quite sure why the creases in your tired eyes remind you of the creases in that folded paper. Maybe because you're crinkled, damaged, broken, confused, almost amused by the blues you feel when your feelings are construed and you are not trying to be rude, but you may come across that way. Rude to myself, that is. Like, why are you wearing that? You look so fat. As a matter of fact, you are pretty weak. And you get weak in the knees when he kisses your forehead and lays in your bed, but you're left broken like shattered glass when he leaves your dumb ass the next morning. You are like paper, Sammy. You are thin and fragile, and all the while you crumble up into a ball and cry, and you don't know why you have to be so damn weak sometimes. And sometimes seems like all the time, and almost all the time you feel like weak paper. But I am more than those thoughts in my head. I am more than thin paper. I am a canvas meant for telling beautiful stories, and oh, the sweet glory of loving paper the way I love the smell of fresh flowers on a warm summer's day. And I was also going to say, I actually love the way I look. I am a book filled with pages upon pages of mystery and love and loss, and that is beautiful. It feels so nice to dutifully fill my cup as I am always filling up others. I love the way my heart flutters when I look myself in the mirror, and all of a sudden, everything seems so clear. I am more than thin paper. I am an elegant canvas, and so are you. Thank you.
Great job. We got turned around for a second. I should have said Anushka was on deck before Sammy came up. So Anushka, you are going to be on stage in just a second. Jairus is on deck now. We're going to give our amazing judges just a second to give Sammy a score. And now we're going to bring up Anushka. Y'all put your hands together for Anushka.
Hello, everyone. My name's Anushka, and this poem is titled The Funny Thing. The funny thing about intergenerational trauma is that it's fine until you let yourself go there. And then it's not. It's fine until the Fire Nation troops march across your keyboard and land on Control. And then you remember another funny thing. The Fire Nation came into countries that were just minding their own business and exploited what they could, burned what they couldn't. The funny thing is, that sounds a little familiar. Hold on. Let me dig into my intergenerational trauma. That sounds like something familiar. Which is fine, I muttered to myself. And it wasn't really fine, but it was fine. Until now. until the old white people at Netflix spotted a dollar bill sticking out of someone's back pocket and saw green, until their casting calls turned into ghost towns, until white faces burned against historical Chinese military uniforms, until Katara had to run to the tanning salon ever so often, and Zuko's white tongue crushed Agni into Agni, until Netflix started colonizing a show about colonialism. The funny thing is, they'll get away with it too. They'll suck all of the Asian and native culture dry, sift it around their mouths like some fine exotic wine. All of these eons worth of currency, clothing, language, symbolism, religion, food, art, bathing their tongues in a divine savor. They'll take our golden histories for themselves, cut into squares and saran wrapped for convenience, reduced to nothing more than palate cleansers for white audiences. Then they'll take what's left, run it under their heels, slam it against the wall until it bleeds money into their pockets. They'll go home and undo their ties, grumble at the reports of the China virus, chuckle as the number of hate crimes increase 20-fold. And then, when they're done chuckling, they'll laugh. Because what a funny thing it is to love a culture and hate the people. Thank you.
Amazing job. Y'all, we have 2 more people left in this competition. I hope we can finish out strong, give them a lot of energy. Joe is on deck. Y'all, please get up for our second to last performer tonight, Jairus.
Hi. I don't typically correct people when they mispronounce my name, and I'm actually not going to here because it's an affectation. Instead of saying something stupid, I'm just going to do a poem. Oft the story has been told, and oft I've found it true, that in the yesteryear of old a butterfly in blue did light upon a bristle cone to drink the morning dew, tremble in the twilight cold, and make the world anew. I have heard from near and far, and yet I long to know what oath doth take a newborn star as it begins to glow. All its heart will burn to char, to sparkle in the snow. As yonder went the butterfly, I called upon the light, for rays of sun and beams of moon to bind about me tight, and weave myself a white cocoon to hide me from the night. To mend the wounds that warp the sky and call the clouds to close, to carry where the willow lies the coffin it composed, and bury there the broken eyes that all the world opposed. And onward bore the butterfly, a final flight it made, the ponderous sarcophagus to where the willow waits, and therein found the mound of moss where once the weeper laid. I called the star to lend an ear, and lo, it shone upon these fingers as they fought to tear the faded fibers bond. We cannot be buried here, the willow dead and gone. I bid them both to linger there and wait with me till dawn.
All right, y'all, we've got 1 performer left in tonight's competition. I just want to say to the last performer, if I mispronounce your name, I'm so sorry. If I was there in person, I would have asked you and written it down. I wasn't there, so I Googled and tried to make sure that I got it right, but my deepest apologies. All right, y'all, this is the last one. This is it. Please give all of your energy to Joe.
I was just thinking about the poor sucker who had to follow that. Then I realized it was me, so. I'm gonna go back to putting the mic on this thing I don't know if that's okay with y'all, but I'm gonna do it. I go by Jaded, and the title of this poem is Mel. What is this life we live so flippant and carefree until our environment requires a new behavior? We joke and laugh about a new thing one day until our trust that thing betrays. It rears its ugly head and laughs and makes us regret each one of our gaffes because it reminds us of how easily it can take away life as you know it. The other day I was sitting with my uncle watching Lethal Weapon. Cheesy, I know, but honestly pretty good. And there was this one little scene that took me by surprise and it made me turn green and I averted my eyes. You see, Mel Gibson was lighting a smoke with a jumper, and the next line hit me with a rear-ended bumper. He said, "If we wait long enough, we'll both die of cancer." And I turned to my uncle, who's dying of cancer, and he didn't react, though not that he could, reclining in his chair, wrapped in blankets and a hood, my mother and grand, tending to every need, unable to move for himself, he concedes, and I sit here watching, unable to speak, because what happens when you, I apologize. Can I start over? Is that okay if I start over? I'm sorry. I'm gonna go from the top. What is this life we live so flippant and carefree until our environment requires a new behavior? We joke and laugh about a thing one day until our trust that thing betrays. It rears its ugly head and laughs and makes us regret each one of our gaffes because it reminds us how easy. Sitting with my uncle watching Lethal Weapon. Cheesy, I know, but it's honestly pretty cool. And there was this one little line that took me by surprise, and it made me turn green, and I averted my eyes. See, Mel Gibson was lighting a smoke with a jumper, and the next line, it hit me like a rear-ended bumper. He said, "If we wait long enough, we'll both die of cancer." And I turned to my uncle, who's dying of cancer, and he didn't react, though not that he could, reclining in his chair, wrapped in blankets and a hood, my mother and grand, tending to every need, unable to do for himself, he concedes, and I sit here watching, unable to speak, because what do you say when your heroes turn meek, when Hulk turns the banner and Batman caves, when Hercules finally rests in his grave, when the sun goes to sleep and what's left is darkness, and you sit in your room just staring at carpet, unable to formulate the thoughts that require to make words that can grasp the scope of this fire that eats at your innards before working its way out, destroying you completely and beyond any doubt. Jerry, I'm sorry that you couldn't make peace. You can't make amends before eventual release. Instead, you just sit here watching Mel making jokes, maybe mulling over memories and remembering folks. You've only got days, and it sounds morbid to say, but I wish you'd die now, and I pray that it's quick. Because at least you're with family, watching cheesy 80s flicks, not alone in a hospital, shivering in the cold, but home, at peace, with a loving hand to hold. Thank you.
Y'all, that is it. That is the last competitor tonight. We are going to take a quick break while the judges count up their scores. We find surprises, all that good stuff. If you see someone in the room that you appreciated their work, if you see somebody that something that they said you really felt or you really reacted to, please go up to that person and introduce yourself and tell them how much you appreciate their work. This is really hard to get on stage and do that kind of thing. And every little compliment, every little encouragement helps. It's really, really rewarding in moments like these. These guys, their hearts are probably still pounding from being on stage. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a little while. But if you see somebody that you like their work, please tell them that you did.
Just one more time. I know I've already said it already a couple times. They want me to repeat this. Just make sure if you're eating that you're socially distanced and you don't have your mask off for more than like 15 minutes. I know you already get it by now, but just wanted to make sure. Thank you so much. You all did amazing.
All right, guys. If everyone can have a seat, we're gonna do the awards now. Okay, so if you are selected a winner, you can go over to the table over there and Gracie will hand you your prize. So Carlos will be announcing the winner, so give it up for Carlos.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for hanging out tonight. I know that we had some technical difficulties early on. I want to thank Baron for handling all of that like a real champ. I want to thank the student board for bringing me in and putting this event on. I know this is not, all sorts of things got rerouted this year and last year technically. And these events are hard to do now. They're different. And I just want to say, congrats, guys. You did a great job. I also want to thank our three judges, Emma, Dr. Moore, and Beth. Thanks so much for rocking with us. And with that, I will read the winners. First of all, everybody tonight did a beautiful, amazing job. Really represented yourselves well. Some amazing writing. So, in fifth place, the winner of a journal kit. Make a little noise, little drum roll. In fifth place, the winner of a journal kit is Noel, aka L. In fourth place, the winner of a journal kit, little drum roll, is Jairus. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name again, but Jairus. In third place, the winner of a leather pen case, third place, the winner of a leather pen case is Sammy. In second place, the winner of a bookend is Anushka. And first place tonight, the winner of a mechanic typewriter keyboard is Joe. Hey everybody, thank you so much for having me. Please encourage the writers in the room. Thanks so much for rocking with us tonight. Y'all have a good one.
All right, guys, please just hang in there a little bit. We have a second round of giveaways. So for this round, we're having a mug raffle. And those mugs are super special because they have writer on it. So we have pre-made a wheel of names, and me and Grace will be hosting this. Thank you again for coming to perform. Y'all words, spoken words, definitely hit my heart tonight. I've learned a lot from you guys, and I'm really glad that I'm your schoolmate, or I went to the same college as you because I've seen so many talented people tonight. So thank you again for just making your voice heard. Thank you again for coming to our event tonight. I really appreciate it. So Grace, do you want to make the first spin?
Okay, let's spin the wheel. Valerie.
Valerie, all right. I'll bring the mugs over here.
Gracie's getting
We can continue the spin, Grace, if you
One,
want to.
What is it?
You can continue the spin.
All right, second spin, let's go. If you win, you can go see Gracie at the table over there. Is that where you're going? Yep. Yubo? Is there a Yubo? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Next spin.
This is our third winner for tonight. The mock
Oh, that's a
raffle.
close one.
Dylan.
Dylan! Woo!
Dylan, let's go.
Is there a Dylan?
Is Dylan here?
No Dylan? Okay, spin again.
Okay. Was the third person here? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, perfect. Tasveen! Yes, Tasveen, go get your prize. All right, next spin. Noel, yes! Go get your prize.
Was that a fifth time? All right, now we're doing our last spin for tonight. All right,
Samantha, yay!
Thank you so much for all of our lucky winners tonight. Please make sure you're signing out on the sheet. Go find our amazing volunteer, Jack. Obviously, he was also one of the performers at Open Mic. Make friends with him and, and sign out at his table. Before you leave, we actually also made some, we designed those stickers and people at PSEL kind of found some codes that we really like in Poetry Works, and they are out on our marketing table. We also prepare some piece of straws, it's just piece of gears, and we also have some flyers for future events. Before you leave, make sure you're stopping at our volunteer or marketing table outside to grab yourself some stickers and flyers. And once again, thank you so much for a wonderful night tonight. We hope to see you in the future at our future events. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Woo! Deb, any last words to say? All right.
Thank you guys.
Deb also loves you guys.
What's up?